Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And I know we don't want to talk a whole lot about the Charlie Kirk situation, but we do talk about The View, and we talk about the media. And to our pleasant surprise, the View host actually came out and condemned.
Yeah, to their credit, they actually, behaved better than the biatches they usually are.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of this, and look, people are going to be like, yeah, a lot of these people were stoking the outrage toward the right wingers.
And you were definitely on the list.
Yeah. But we have had a lot of celebrities and a lot of politicians on the left come out and condemn this, rightly condemned it.
Because it's bull crap, and it's terrible, and it's asinine, and it never should happen. And so they're actually acting like human beings and saying it was wrong.
Yeah, and that was what we talked about earlier this morning. Again, the litmus test for the Charlie Kirk situation is not whether or not you agreed with Charlie Kirk. The litmus test was, did you show empathy and humanity when, even if you disagreed with the guy, you still feel empathy for his wife, his kids, the people that were grieving, or did you just pile on? And we saw Blue Sky pile on. We saw a lot of people pile on, and they failed the test. They took their hand out of the box. Right? I'm
concerned about how many people that are professionals that are teaching your kids, or at the hospital where you go to get surgery, and nurses and all that stuff were failing the test. It's very concerning.
Yeah, and these people are supposed to be the most empathetic. The teachers and the doctors and the nurses and they're supposed to be the most empathetic, and they're
special education teachers.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow. But The View, honestly, I didn't expect them to be like complete assholes about it, but I expected a lot more pushback than they gave. But I'm gonna make no mistake, The View and their stuff they've said over the years has definitely led to bad behavior.
Yeah. And maybe, I this is me being a little overly optimistic. I am hoping that maybe some people stop and reflect and are like, you know what, maybe this shit's gone too far.
It's gone too far. It's a little too late, but it's gone too far.
But my gut, I'm hopeful that that's what's going to happen. My gut is telling me, though, that this might escalate things to a whole nother level, and I hope to God I'm wrong. Anyway, we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. I don't know if a woohoo's appropriate.
I don't know either, but we will tell you to go out to, what's the website again?
What's our website? news.clownfishtv.com.
I'm tired.
News.clownfishtv. You can sign up for our newsletter, and we're telling you to do this. I know we're pushing it really hard, and people are getting really tired of hearing about it. You might not find us again if you don't sign up for it, because I don't know if YouTube, there's some major algorithm issues. I don't know if they're going to recommend our videos to you again. If you're not subscribed, if you're subscribed, our subscribers aren't getting notifications. So sign up for the newsletter, please.
Yeah, it's free. So there you go. And it'll get notified. So I saw this today, and I was really surprised that they didn't, go typical View screaming Mimi. I'm going to stop there.
It's not appropriate, regardless of how you feel about the guy. It's not appropriate to do a little jig on national television, and and that, again, this just makes Blue Sky look that much worse. It makes people working in comics and gaming and animation look that much worse that they were celebrating. When you've got pretty much everybody on your own side denouncing this act of violence, you have no, you just don't say anything, right? Just keep your mouth shut. That's all you got to do.
So yeah, this person had gone out and quoted what they had said and took screen caps of what they had said and put them up on here. You'll have to read them though, because my screen isn't very big.
Okay, I'm gonna read them because I don't want to run the clip, because I know they'll probably ding us.
But you can go out here and you can see the clips.
Yeah, this is on Nicholas Fondacaro. Is that who this is?
So credit to them.
Yeah, associate editor for the MRC and Newsbusters, Citations and Words in Fox News and the Daily Caller, and a D&D Dungeon Master. Oh, cool. Okay. Anyway, I don't know who you are, dude, but there you go. So this is what some of what they said. Alyssa Farrah Griffin said, I hope it doesn't have a chilling effect, whether you're left or right on your ability to speak your mind. I know the one thing we all agree on about at this table, we all share our viewpoints, and we should be able to do that without fear. Joy Behar, well, that's our bread and butter here. So, of course, it's very important. I agree with everything you say. Sarah Haynes says, well, also, we don't all align with his views. What I deeply aligned with is he said, when we stop talking, that's when things get bad. The irony of a man who would go across the country to college campuses is where you're supposed to have conversations. He would go in a series that's called Prove Me Wrong. He would talk to people openly who disagreed. It's what we try to exemplify every day and say this is what we need more of.
I would argue they don't do that very much on the
No.
They try to talk over people, but that's a whole other story.
That's a whole nother story. Sunny. So I was like, yeah, what's Sunny going to say? She's going to be doing. No, she's actually said, yeah, the man was 31 years old with 2 children. 1 in 3, a family man and wife. Now, these children will grow up without their father. The woman will grow up, grow old without her husband. This country, there's no place. This is very mature of Sunny Hostin. There's no place for this kind of violence in this country. I'm heartbroken over it. I cannot believe that someone would kill another person because they were speaking their beliefs. This is the antithesis of who we are as Americans.
But I want to say, but The View is one of the people that I would argue has been out there trying to stoke the fires and cause division and sow the seeds of discord and all kinds. They're always out there slamming on crap.
When you call people, and I'm not saying them in particular, but the mainstream media, the left-wing mainstream media, when you call more than half the country at this point literal boot-stepping Nazis, and then you're like, hey, you'd take out Hitler if you had the chance, right? Well, grandma who voted for Trump is literally Hitler. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Mm-hmm. Eventually, somebody was going to get hurt. Somebody was going to get killed.
And I mean, when it actually crosses that line, you're all shocked and like upset and like, oh my God, this shouldn't happen. I'm like, well, it took a lot. There had to be things that happened for it to get this far. And I blame the media. I blame shows like The View. I blame, social media and Hollywood in general for a lot of this, and politicians actually for a lot of this. So what did Joy say after this?
Joy said, recalls other political assassinations during her lifetime, which is long. She's had a very long life. She talked about Medgar Evers, JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy, and we lived through all that. It was a turbulent time. I was very young. I think that's one of the reasons I got married so young, to tell you the truth. It was such a scary time. You kind of clung to each other. The country survived it. We got better. I think we will again. We're having a traumatic period right now. Yeah, we are. But again, I'm not saying you can't speak your mind. I'm not saying you can't vehemently disagree with some of the stuff coming from the right, but you really got to stop. You really got to stop calling people literal Nazis if they're not actually Nazis. Mm-hmm. I mean, because at that point you're like, oh, now Nazis are the bad guys. They're subhuman. This was going to happen eventually. I'm honestly surprised it took this long.
When you're constantly painting everybody as a bigot, as a racist, as an istophobe, this is going to happen. Whoopi Goldberg said about.
She actually said the Trump name is like Voldemort. She said, I'm betting on human beings. Whoopi points out how we all came together after 9/11 for how we should come together after Charlie Kirk. It goes to show that. So, I mean, for them, okay, so I will give them props for them to basically be, because a lot of people in Blue Sky, a lot of the people that are the far, far left, right? The extremists. Those people are like, and it was just a Wednesday. Oh, well, step over it and move on to something else. They're like, this is a traumatic event, and it's coming right before 9/11. I mean, this is a huge, I don't think people fully understand, especially young people. I don't think you understand the weight that this is going to carry going forward, that this happened in America.
But I'm just saying, it's not like this is like at a college campus in front of
a
kids,
college campus, yeah.
And it just happened in front of people, and it's just they tried it with Trump too, and they missed because only because he turned his head. Only because he turned his head.
So after, okay, so this is what gets me too. So Trump almost got killed. and he gets reelected. And I think you could argue successfully part of the reason he got reelected was because they tried to hit him. And he gets reelected, and then they go right back to, well, the Nazis, and goose-stepping Nazis.
Because because they didn't win, and you have to ask yourself, and they asked themselves this back when the Trump situation happened, was I think it was why people voted for him. It's like, what do they have to say that they're so afraid of that they're trying to kill them? And then you're like, well, I want to know what they have to say and why they're so afraid of them. So maybe we should support this person because they're clearly, the crazies are so afraid of them. They're trying to kill him. Why? That could be the same situation here. But it's interesting that The View is calling for unity when they have gone so much trouble to cause division. Which, I mean, I would rather see them ask for unity than division. I want to make that clear. I just think it's ironic. But I don't disagree with them. I think that, I 100% agree, obviously, that it never should have happened, that it's asinine, that it's vile, that people are saying what they're saying, that their behavior is unacceptable, that all of this is unacceptable and should have no place in our society at all. And we have to be more of a united front on it. But you have to step back and look at what your part was in this. And I don't know if they are, or they're saying this because they realize what their part was in it. I don't know.
I mean, there are going to be some people that are like, and I'm on the fence about this. There are going to be a lot of people that are like, well, this is just them covering their ass because they know the backlash. If it turns out, again, as we're recording this, we don't know a whole lot of details about the shooter. But if it turns out that the gunman is like one of theirs, it's the blowback against the Democrats, the progressives, is going to be absolutely savage.
But I mean, anybody who's a human is going to that still has their humanity left. Is going to look at this and be like, "Oh hell no, this is not unacceptable." That's why you see some people on the left that are prominent figures on the left, calling it out because like, no, it should never go this far.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. He said, yeah, the View once erroneously claimed Kirk palled around with actual Nazis. Now they're mourning him.
Well, I'm just saying. That's what I was saying. It's like, they are make no mistake. They think they're part of the reason, that mentality, this talking heads, this Hollywood, far left extremism is part of what led to this. So yes, they are partially responsible.
Yeah. And I think, here's the thing. Like I naively thought, and I think what changed my mind on it was Ed Piskor being driven to suicide by these kinds of people. And these kinds of people, I mean, the subhumans who are delighting in Kirk being killed. But, I thought for years it was hyperbole when they're like, they want you dead. Like you'd see like YouTube or headlines or whatever. It's like, these people literally want you dead. I'm like, it's just comic books. It's just video games. They don't actually want us dead. It's just gallows humor. It's like, holy shit. No, they actually want you dead. And then they're going to have a party if you do die. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to, they don't want to do it. They're going to weaponize other people to do it.
This is not how, people should behave. And it's disgusting that they behave this way. I mean, to the View's credit, they are not saying, they aren't like dancing, or they're not like making comments. They're actually like saying, oh, this has gone too far. But I will say comments they've made and divisiveness they've attempted definitely plays into this mentality.
Yeah, and I mean, I do think that maybe there was some detachment where they're like, oh yeah, we can just do the bit and complain about Trump and Nazis and whatever, because that's what our dwindling audience wants. But and they're like, oh shit, I didn't think anybody would actually get killed. I'm like, well, yeah, you blast this out, and you have a massive platform. You're on network TV in the mornings. It's been on for years. People watch it out of habit. They probably have it on in the background at the whatever office. And you're blasting out, hatred every day for years. Their Republicans are all a bunch of Nazis. And they even said about, Trump getting shot. They're like, well, don't you go humanizing him? And I'm like, well, geez,
Yeah.
that's so then people are going to extend that to anybody that, they blame for getting Trump reelected. And honestly, the fact that they shot at him is a huge reason why he got reelected, because people are like, oh, hell no.
Well, they said Rosie O'Donnell said something. This is like Rosie O'Donnell was always constantly screaming about Trump. She said that it was, I can't read it, but it's like
she said, "No, just no. Do not become the murderer. This is wrong." So this is what again. I'm torn on this because we cover this kind of the TDS and the insanity, and actually right before this happened, I did a video on Mark Hamill, and just the other day he was talking. He was literally othering people. He's like, "Oh yeah, basically, me and my friends, the people, the good guys, and then the others, basically meaning riffraff that voted for Trump." And he was mourning America because he couldn't believe that America put Trump back in office and that there were so many damn Nazis in this country or whatever. He stopped short of saying that, but he was referring to them as the others and the whatever. And we know how he feels about it. And then he's turning around being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe."
Yes, because I think they're starting to realize like, oh my gosh, maybe us out there constantly saying this stuff could be partly tied to why this stuff happens. And it's like, yes, it probably is partly tied to why this stuff happens. And my hope is that, they literally take this to heart and are like, maybe we shouldn't be so polarizing. Maybe we shouldn't try to be so, causing, divisiveness and trying to incite people. Maybe we should step it back and try to focus more on unity than, what makes us alike than what makes us different, and try to not push people to this point. Yeah. And I'd love to think that's what they're going to do. And I hope to God that's what they do. But I've got a strong suspicion in like 2 weeks, we're going to be back to where we were. And nothing was learned. And I'm really, really hoping I'm wrong, because I would love to see people just chill the fuck out. Literally. It's the political pickling is just so fucking ridiculous. And I'm sorry for swearing, but I'm so angry about it because it never should have got this far. And I just want everybody to chill out. And I want these people that have been out there perpetually stirring the pot to stop stirring. Just stop. And I've been hoping that's what they'll learn from this. Even though sadly it took what it took to do it. But I don't want to hold my breath, because I honestly believe that they're just going to turn around in 2 or 3 weeks when it blows over and start it all over again.
Yeah, this needs to be a wake-up call. I think I'm going to be honest. I think some people, I have some hope for some of the older liberals that weren't crazy, that went crazy in recent years.
I think some of them felt like they had to go crazy to stay relevant, because if you don't go crazy enough, they'll come after you.
Yeah. And I hope maybe some of them take a step back and they're like, you know what, maybe I should stop calling grandma a Nazi, because maybe grandma's not a Nazi. Maybe this isn't helping my case any. Maybe this isn't helping my party any. It's just,
maybe it's just because that makes us terrible people. Maybe your reason should be as simple as, I don't want to be a heinous individual like these people.
No, that's too easy. it's just, look, do the self-preservation thing, right? Pretend to be human or something. But regardless of whether or not you're sincere about it, and I think some people are. I'm going to be honest. I don't think, and I know people are going to hate me for this, I don't think Whoopi Goldberg and Mark Hamill are actually awful people. I just think that they've been, like you said, pickled for so long that they don't know any better. That's like the shtick. That's what they do. Whoopi, she seems like she's actually pretty good with people.
Unless you're a bakery.
Unless you're a bakery. Yeah, that was not good.
Bill Clinton, though, said, I hope we all go through some serious introspection and redouble our efforts to engage in debate, passionately yet peacefully. I agree. I think I want to see introspection from these people. I really do. Do I think that that'll happen? No. But do I really want to see it? I think that we all would love to see that. Yeah.
And congratulations. To the people that absolutely hated him, you helped create a martyr. Because it's not just him being killed. It's your reaction to his death that people were going to remember and be like, you know what? These people are absolute trash. They're subhuman. And
then hopefully people see this and their takeaway is, we need to turn away from this and we need to be better. And that's what I'm hoping. But again, I've seen so much. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
But you can't control everybody else's, but you can control what you do.
You can control what you do.
So you can try to be better.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
All right, please subscribe for more pop culture news. I swear to God, guys, we do cover pop culture news over here. It's just that, unfortunately, it's all blending together. But more pop culture news, views, and rants We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.